Hey everyone, Casey here from Client Trick. Today's video, we're going to be talking about knowing when to pivot. In your business or personal life, it doesn't really matter. So in order to kick us off, we're going to be talking about four main topics. We're going to be talking about the importance of knowing when to pivot, as it is a very important skill. And we're going to be talking about success and failure markers while tracking to knowing when you can actually go about pivoting. Thirdly, we're going to be talking about always being open to new opportunities and seeing things in a different perspective. And lastly, we're going to go through a couple examples that I've gone through myself in my own business and you might be able to relate to. All right, so first, why is it important to know how to pivot? Well, really, it comes down to understanding your business, understanding your industry, understanding what you're doing. Because if you wait too long, you're going to miss something very important. As business ebbs and flows, which almost all of ours does, you are going to miss the signs potentially as you're going through if you're too focused in on one specific area. So if you are more open to what is actually happening within your business, if you are understanding when to pivot, you're monitoring all these different things, you will be able to identify the times that you need to pivot effectively. When something isn't working, it's causing friction in the business, maybe it's your personal life, and how to switch gears. And it really becomes an important skill as your business grows and as you grow personally. Maybe it's changing a career, maybe in your business you're offering a new service and you're not sure when to do it. So with that in mind, let's talk about how you can actually go about building the success and failure markers. You need to know two things. What does success look like and what does failure look like? Before you can pivot and change, you have to ensure that you've given this a really good shot. So let's say you're a roofing contractor and you're going to offer a new service. Let's say it's siding. You haven't offered siding before. You've really only done roof replacements, roof repairs, but a lot of your clients have been asking for it. So you've read the tea leaves. You understand what you need to do. You need to start offering these. You've been subbing them out. You're tired of subbing it out. You just want to start doing it in-house. So you bring it in-house. What does success look like and what does failure look like? Those are the two most important questions you can answer to understand how it's going to actually complete and getting a gauge of whether it's a success or failure in the first place. So you know when to pivot, ultimately. You've seen the signs, you've read the tea leaves, you understand that now is the time to offer your new siding services. That's a quick pivot, that's great. That's one thing that you need to identify, which is awesome. However, the next step is ensuring that it's going to be a success or a failure and knowing when to pivot back and out. So you have to see the different signs. You have to see the different avenues that your business is going to flow through. So the most important thing is determining your success and failure metrics for this new service. You need to determine what is going to be a success, what is going to be a failure. For example, what does success look like? So let's say it's a new service. You're starting siding. You maybe need a siding crew. You need to hire on multiple people. There's a cost with that. You need to ensure that you're going to get an ROI on that. What is the ROI you want to see on that? 2, 3, 4 times in that first year? You need to start tracking that. You need to be agile with how you explore that. You need to set KPIs, key performance indicators, to understand whether that's actually working. You need to understand your margins when you're doing siding. Maybe you don't care how many jobs you bring in as long as you're getting a 30% margin, 40% margin. Doesn't really matter what your success metrics are as long as you have them. But on the flip side of that, you also need to know what your failure metrics are. You need to understand that failure happens and you need to be aware of it so that when you hit these failure metrics, same as if you hit those success metrics, you know whether it's time to pivot back or pivot out or try something different. So in that case, let's say you bring on this crew, right? You have a new cost associated with that. Over 3 months, you were expected as a success metric to be able to get an ROI. You're supposed to net even for the entire year for the cost of those individuals, that team, that crew that you just brought on. Well, 3 months, you're still under. Well, now it's time to pivot. Now it's time to switch. So you need to understand that it's time to look at things differently. Is siding not working right? Are we not doing all that we can to ensure that the siding service that we've just offered is actually working? It likely means that you might need to fire these people. So you have to identify what that is, and when that happens, you trigger that failure metric. You trigger those actions for that, and you can pivot quickly. Now, it doesn't seem quick, but it really comes down to your success, your metrics that you're building. you need to be able to visualize and see, because if you do not set these expectations up front, you are going to go through an entire year, you're going to go through, get your accounting, your bookkeeping done, and all of a sudden you're going to find out that you brought on more people, you lost money on them, you maybe brought in more revenue than you did last year, but your net revenue is going to be lower because you have an additional cost, because you're actually losing money on this new service and you didn't realize that ahead of time. So by putting these success and failure metrics ahead of you, you are going to be sure that your business is going to grow. Your personal life is going to succeed. So you need to see these, you need to have these as guiding stars when you're learning and doing something new within your business to be able to pivot out. Now, with this comes openness. You need to make sure that you are open to new opportunities, because as I talked about, as your business ebbs and flows, you might be at a peak, you might be at a trough, and something will completely shift in your business that you need to pivot on based off of those metrics if you're tracking them properly. So if you're at a trough, let's say you're at the very bottom of one of these ebbs and flow cycles, you realize that this new opportunity came up. Maybe there's a new contractor in your neighborhood that you can connect with and start actually providing more roofs for construction. Maybe you've only ever done replacement roofs for, people, hail damage, whatever it is. But if you start working on a more of a commercial basis, you can bring in more opportunities to make your business more successful. So make sure that you are looking at all these opportunities, you're evaluating the strategy of the business and being able to pivot when necessary. And I have a couple examples of this, how I've done that in my own business. One was we actually transitioned from the legal space where we were helping legal clients to helping roofing contractors. Those are two very different worlds. But an opportunity came up, an opportunity arose, and I took a chance. I pivoted. I focused more energy onto the roofing side and started to cut out some of the legal marketing we were doing. And now we are doing a lot more revenue. We are a lot more successful focusing on the roofing industry. And finally, we made a really big change within our structure of our business. We were doing things a certain way within our team. During an implementation, we used to have a client success manager, a team manager, and the supporting team behind them. Now, we really just have a project manager and the supporting team behind them. We actually cut out a lot of the client success manager tasks to focus on support only within our business model. It made sense at the time because we reevaluated and we saw that there was too much hands in the cookie jar, so to speak. There was too many people with competing priorities that were making it confusing for everyone else, and it was just complicating things that it didn't need to be complicated, so we simplified it. But that's not to say that model is the best or it's going to help us grow to outrageous revenue streams. By no means. Right now, that's what we looked at and evaluated. This is what our team needs based off of where we're currently at and what our clients currently need. But that could very easily change. So being open, identifying these opportunities when they come up is super important to ensure that you have the ability to pivot when needed. You see something that needs to be changed, you make a change. You go, you try it. But ensure that you have an understanding of what those success and failure metrics are. So for example, with this pivot from the client success manager and the project manager piece, my success and failure metrics really revolve around the project management piece. If we are unable to have a solid foundation in project management, ensure our projects are a success, then we're going to have to go back and look at another model. We're going to have to see how we can get more people in or our client success manager back in to ensure that the project manager has the resources they need to ensure the project is a success. Now, from what I've seen, I don't expect that to be the case. However, it's important to note that I am ready to switch at a moment's notice and tear it up. And that's the way you should be too. You should be aware of what is happening in your business and be able to say, nope, we're going in this direction now, and have a plan of action. That's what you need. And this actually comes back to one of our previous videos of knowing how to delegate. Once you know how to delegate, you can figure out to take yourself out of that day-to-day operation so you can plan around these things. You need to take time to understand how to enforce this within your business. That's it for today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. And as always, please subscribe to our channel so you can get access to all our amazing videos and content as we continue to pump out new videos for you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.